Hi there, I'm Trish from TrishNewbery.com, and I wanted to show you how to do a full bust adjustment for a Dolman sleeve. Now specifically this is aimed at my new pattern release 2101, the Bree flutter sleeve top. There is a 2-inch, which is approximately 5 centimetre difference between full bust and high bust or upper bust. So I'm just preempting this because I know some of you will have questions. I'm going to do this on a mini, hopefully to make it a little bit easier to see. So let's just look at the piece we're going to adjust. This is the side that attaches to gathers, here's the V-neck, and here's the shoulder line. So when we're going to do a full bust adjustment on a Dolman, and look, if you've already got the way you do it, you just go ahead, here's my take on it. The first thing we need to do is put in an approximate sleeve location. So to do this, what I've done is I've measured down 12 centimetres, which is around about 5 inches, and then I've drawn what I would consider to be the approximate place for the sleeve if there was going to be one attached here, because this is the underarm here. So the next thing we're going to need to do is come down around about 1/3 and make a mark, and hopefully you've already made a muslin of this. So the next thing to do is work out whereabouts your approximate bust point is. Every body type's different, so you need to work that bust point out for yourself. Just hold your muslin up against a mirror and mark its position. So I've just said approximately it would be here. So I'm going to use a slash and spread method here. So what we need to do first of all is we need to draw a line down to our hemline. So that needs to be parallel to the centre front here. So we're going to go down like so. Once we've done that, we're going to draw a line from the bust point up to this mark here, about 1/3 of the way down. It doesn't matter if it's around about halfway down, it just probably won't interfere so much with the underarm point. So this is so much easier that I'm working on a mini. I would draw a line down like so, and then draw a line up like so there. We are going to put one more point in, which is down here on the side seam. Don't come all the way down, but maybe 3.5 centimetres, which would be maybe 1.5 inches. So place a mark here and draw a 3rd line there. What we're going to do now is cut along these lines, and we're going to leave just a small amount as a pivot point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up here, I'm going to go to this point here and cut up here, and then leave a pivot point like so, and then I'm going to come to the side seam, cut up here, and leave the pivot point here. So once I've done that, I'm going to cut off where my arm side is to remove what would be the sleeve. So make sure you leave that pivot point. I mentioned before that the difference in this pattern between the full bust and the high bust is 2 inches, so it's time for some maths. If your difference is greater than that, work out how much more. So if your difference is 3 inches, that's 1 inch more. If it's 4 inches, it's 2 inches more. So if you have a 1 inch adjustment, we're going to put 1/2 inch on each side. If you need a 2 inch adjustment, we're going to put 1 inch on both sides. So whatever the amount extra you need to add, just halve it, because a bodice is 2 halves here. For the purposes of this example, I will do this based on a 1 inch adjustment. So we're going to put 1/2 inch here. So one last thing we need to do is create a slash line at right angles to the centre front light here, and that's just to extend the front down. So I will draw one more slash line in like so. And maybe that would be a third of the way up, and we'll cut that. So I've cut this at right angles to the centre front, simply because my hem isn't at right angles to the centre front. If you had a right angled hemline to the front, you could simply create a parallel line up from the hem. So you might want to tape this down to something, see how you get on. I'll just tape this down to my desk just to make it a little bit easier for the video. So I'm just taping the centre front here. So what we're going to do now is separate here from here by moving this out. Just hold that down a little bit more. So what we need to do, because we want a 1 inch adjustment, is to create ½ an inch between here. So what we're going to do is measure out ½ an inch and bring this piece out. Now this piece needs to be parallel, so I'll assume that's my adjustment there. So this line here needs to be parallel to what would have been this line here, like so. So this is your ½ inch gap. Making sure that this ½ inch gap here is set at this point here. Take this point here, this piece here, and bring it back so our side seams match again, like so. And you can see we've swung it open here. This is our new pivot point, and that was our old pivot point now. So what I'm going to do is just overlap that point and bring this back to vertical. So you can see here we've overlapped this here, but we should still have our ½ inch gap here. What we can do now is reattach our sleeve, and it's not going to be perfect. So what you do is lay it down and just tape it in place, and then we can tape this to more paper underneath, and we'll redraw the shoulder seam in. So the last thing to do is to sort out this area here. What I'm going to do is bring this back up to original, but I'm going to redraw this line in. So I'll put this down on a new piece of paper and we'll have a look. So here is my original piece. You can see here how much it has changed. So this line here is not a straight line from side to side, but what you can do is draw a straight line in, just to give yourself a bit of a reference, and then look at the original pattern piece, and what it does is it sort of goes down a bit here and then comes up a bit here, so you can just by eye draw in a nice curve. Or what you could do is put the original pattern piece over it, centered on your adjustment, and just adjust that to suit. Once you've redrawn in the gentle curve at the hemline, you'll need to readjust the shoulder line, and that can simply be a straight line from the shoulder neck point towards the hemline there. So I hope that helps some of you out for doing a full bust adjustment with the Dolman. Certainly this is only one of the methods of full bust adjustments, and I hope it helps you out. So as always, thanks for joining me. I hope you get something out of this video. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you back again soon.